the executive director of the American Jobs Alliance, fighting for American jobs every day. Curtis Ellis, great to have you with us, Curtis.
Great to be here, John. I learn something new from you every time I listen. They say there's no free lunch, but I discovered there is.
That's
Let's
right.
Go to the Americans for Prosperity Lobby Day.
I know, free lunch. I'm so excited. That's why I always go. It's
great
a lot
to be
of
here,
fun.
John. Thanks for spreading the word about this incredible power grab that the president's got in the works.
It's
and
insane. Thing is, Curtis, first of all, if the president was the best negotiator ever, I still wouldn't want to give him authority that usurps Congress. But the fact of the matter is, this guy's horrible. Look at the deal he just made with the Castro brothers. We got, let's see, what did we get? We got nothing. And they got everything.
Nothing.
We got nothing.
Close, but no. We didn't even get a cigar.
We got nothing.
Close, but no cigar.
And now you want to extend this guy's. You have no idea what he's negotiating right now with Iran. So why would you give him fast track? Why would you give him the authority to make these deals? Now, you know what? Everybody wants to talk about these sexy issues, right? Obamacare, immigration, amnesty. But here's the deal. If you liked NAFTA and you think like that created jobs for Americans, okay, which I think it was a complete disaster. I was so opposed to that, and I was right, and so were you. This TPP thing, Trans-Pacific Partnership, this thing is a catastrophe for the U.S. Can you help our audience understand?
Totally. You know, Donald Trump, you mentioned him before. Donald Trump said Obama's the worst negotiator in the entire universe. Donald Trump spoke the other day at the Freedom Summit over there in Iowa, and he said he is opposed to giving President Obama this fast-track trade promotion authority for that very reason. This guy is the worst negotiator. Number one, you can't trust him. Look at the crummy deals he's doing with Iraq, with Cuba, with China, with this carbon footprint, basically cap and trade. We sacrifice and surrender our industrial capacity, and then in 15 or 20 or 30 years, China gets to decide what it will do. It'll keep on polluting, but we start cutting our pollution tomorrow, but it gets to keep polluting for 30 years. Obama is a bad negotiator, is a horrible negotiator. Why on earth would Congress surrender its ability to review every single line of any agreement that he brings home? Pat Buchanan, in his column, his last column recently, said for the GOP Congress having run on a platform of we will oppose Obama's agenda and then turn around and give him this fast-track ability, surrender its ability to vet and amend whatever agreement he brings home, he says that makes Congress look like what they called the French during the Gulf War, cheese-eating surrender monkeys. And further, it's an act of self-castration. Pat Buchanan has a way with words, and he's hit the nail right on his head. We're supposed to sacrifice our jobs, our industries, to the global gods of globalization, the false gods of globalization, the global economy, and Congress is supposed to surrender its ability, its constitutional authority, to review whatever treaties the executive negotiates. I mean, any executive. Congress is supposed to advise and consent, not just give it an up or down vote. That's totally upside down. But the good news is we can stop it. There are enough people in the House of Representatives that really don't trust this guy. You know, they got snookered on the Cromnibus, they got snookered on amnesty, they got snookered on Obamacare. They've had it up to here.
Sure.
This guy. And if they hear from the voters saying, don't you dare give him more power, they will refuse. Look, a lot of these guys that took the vote for John Boehner and voted yes for John Boehner just caught hell from the constituents,
yes,
from the people back home who elected them.
That's right.
They say, we didn't elect you to go along and get along. We elected you to make a change. And those people now, those congressmen need to hear from us now. And that's why I urge everyone to go to ObamaTrade.com. ObamaTrade, like Obamacare, That is, Congress has to pass it to find out what's in it. Obamatrade.com, and in the right-hand column, you'll see Contact Congress. So this is more than a petition. What it does when you press that button, it will connect you directly to your congressman's office, and you can send an email to him or her and let him know that we're opposed to this, that you don't want Congress to surrender its authority and give Obama more power to pass the Trans-Pacific Partnership. By the way, the Trans-Pacific Partnership is this great big trade. I know it sounds like an exotic Asian escort service or some kind of mail-order bride agency from the Philippines, but what the Trans-Pacific Partnership really is Mitch McConnell's marriage to Elaine Chao. No. What the Trans-Pacific Partnership really is it's a NAFTA type agreement. Only this time, instead of just merging our economy with Mexico and Canada, we're going to be merging our economy with 11 other countries, including Mexico and Canada, 11 countries around the Pacific Ocean, like Vietnam, where I tell you, the people in Vietnam are paid so little, they make the Chinese look well paid. Mm-hmm. And that's who we're going to be sending our jobs to under this agreement. It's really and there's a whole lot more to it than that. It's beyond trade. It goes into basically global governance. It sets up these international tribunals which can review and overturn American laws. They're made up of international unelected bureaucrats who we don't know who they are. They're sitting in Brussels somewhere. It's a world court type operation. And it's really, you can learn all about it at obamatrade.com. We put together a great coalition of conservative organizations. Americans for Limited Government have come out against this. The American Family Association, a faith-based group, they're just outraged that we're going to be giving special privileges to countries that practice Sharia law under this Trans-Pacific Partnership. And, that's a great example of the danger of Congress not being able to review what Obama puts in this kind of thing.
Look, Curtis, this thing is NAFTA on steroids, and I was so opposed to NAFTA. It was it's just another one of those things where you turn your sovereignty over to something else. This visualization of this global economy. You don't have a global economy where Americans are being paid $10 an hour and somebody else is being paid 10 cents an hour. You can't have it. It doesn't work. And that's really what the issue is. All this is going to do is cost Americans jobs. Look, we had Congressman Dave Bratt on our show about a week ago, and he said that there are right now the Obama administration has issued 10 million visas for immigrants that are here illegally to get jobs. The Attorney General nominee, Loretta Lynch, said yesterday in Congress, she said illegal immigrants, people that have entered the country and broke the law to get here, have a fundamental right to work. This is insanity. And this Trans-Pacific Partnership, it all plays into it. We're with Curtis Ellis, Executive Director, American Jobs Alliance, fighting for your jobs every day. Go to obamatrade.com. Stop the madness. I want to get back to this Trans-Pacific Partnership. First of all, it makes no sense because, as you pointed out, and I want our audience to really grasp this, how do you get involved in a partnership when Vietnam is involved in it and they're paying people 15 cents a day? How does that work?
Well, it works that the people making this deal don't believe in the United States of America as an economic entity. They believe in a global economy, and the big corporatist cronies, the big, the Nikes and the big giant companies, General Electric and whatnot, they want to be able to build and invest and get resources and labor and sell their goods anywhere on Earth without such a thing as a border, right? And that's why they love unregulated immigration. They can get cheap labor into this country anytime, anywhere, and in the amounts they want. And conversely, if they can just move their factories overseas and bring the goods back. Look, 40, 50 years ago, most of the stuff that we bought in the store and that we used to feed and clothe our families, and the goods we drove around in, the washing machines, was most of it, like 90% of it was made in the USA. We made the stuff that we used. Now, most of it's made somewhere else. And what resulted is, you got the guys on top make more of a profit because they can eke out a few pennies on the dollar by shortchanging labor, and but the working people get it in the neck. So it makes no sense from the point of view of the American people. The American people know it. They don't buy this stuff. The guys on top, though, they don't believe in America. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's true. They pledge allegiance not to the flag of the United States of America like you and me. They pledge allegiance to the global economy, right? That's all they talk about. I'm a global citizen. They fly to Davos in their private jets to have a confab with the Saudi princes to talk about what's going to happen to the global economy. What's lost in that whole equation is what's going to happen to the United States of America.
They're not members of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or the Libertarian Party. They're members of the Green Party. Dr. Green, Dr. Greed. It's all about driving their profits, flying around in their jets. Look, when everything crashes, they'll end up fine. And that's really what the issue is. Now, I've got a minute. How do we stop it?
We stop it in the House of Representatives. We let Dave Bratt, and John Hurt, and Randy Forbes, and the entire Virginia delegation know that we are opposed. We, the people of Virginia, we, the people of the United States of America, want them to oppose fast-track authority. Fast-track is the first battle here. We stop Obama from getting trade promotion authority, fast-track trade promotion authority. We stop this thing dead in its tracks. And you can go to obamatrade.com, obamatrade.com, and right there in the right-hand column, hit that button that says Tell Congress, and it'll take you to a page that'll be linked directly to your congressman's office. You can send them an email and tell them. Now, if you happen to have your congressman's phone number, call them and tell them that. Tell them on the phone. If you happen to have your congressman, want to make an appointment and meet him face-to-face, better yet, do that. We need every single person to tell Congress, we've had enough. And we're not going to take it anymore. You're going to do what we want and stop giving this guy in the White House more power to override the Constitution.
Insane.
ObamaTrade.com is where you start. Where it ends is with your congressman.